Warning: this podcast contains adult material and is not suitable for anyone under the age of 18. You have been warned. Do you like movies?
Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself.
What do you think about horror movies? Blood, guts, and mayhem.
Groovy.
Then sit back, relax, and listen to the Dead and Rotting Podcast. Well, welcome to the Dead and Rotting Podcast. I've got my guest here, and Dustin, if you wouldn't mind, would you go ahead and introduce yourself to us and let us know a little bit about yourself and what you do in the movie biz?
How's everybody doing? I'm Dustin Ardine. Thank you very much for having me on the show. Pleasure to be here. And I'm an actor out in Los Angeles, California. I also do writing, some production, and I've directed on stage before, classically trained method actor, and been acting pretty much my whole life. And I'm on here to definitely have fun, loads of fun with you all, talking about horror films, and my latest film that just came out on Prime, which is called Death Club. And hopefully everybody out there, gives it a shot on Prime.
All right, Dustin. So what got you involved with movies? What got you started?
Well, when I was 6 years old, my father was watching Star Wars, Return of the Jedi. And I remember I went out and started watching it with him, and pretty much at the end knew that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be involved in that kind of a world, that kind of storytelling, that kind of magic pretty much. And, as I got older, I got involved with local theaters, anyone that I could. Because I grew up, I was born in Reno, Nevada, but I've lived in almost pretty much every state in the union. And so I moved around quite a lot. But, I always joined local theater troupes, and then really got into it as I continued to age, and went to not only film school, but I was a theater major. Then I came out here to the New York Film Academy, and we didn't have a lot of money or anything. So I slept in my car for the first 2 years while I was out here attending the New York Film Academy. And it's just been something that I've wanted to do my entire life. I love storytelling. I love creating compelling characters. And, when I was a kid, films were kind of a release, an escape from everyday life. I came from kind of a bad background. My parents got divorced when I was 4, and kind of a broken home. So I could just be off, sailing the 7 seas, or on an adventure somewhere with my favorite film or television characters. And currently right now I'm getting my doctorate in film and media studies. So film is encapsulated my entire life. And, as an actor, that's one of the things that I hope I can do if there's some other kid out there that's having a rough time, or any adult, or anybody, because there's a kid inside all of us, that just needs to break away and have fun and forget about the trials and tribulations of everyday life. And if movies and my performance can help someone do that, then that's what I want to do.
Very cool, man. And congrats on the doctoral thing.
Oh, thank you very much.
Also, that's a tough road.
Taking my last couple classes right now.
Nice, man. So what kind of attracts you to your movie roles? What is it that really kind of, I guess, sucks you in when you read a script, or you read something about a character that you're going to be playing for?
Well, I think that right off the bat, the overall story is what needs to compel me. When I read a script, I love, because I'm such a fan and a student of films and the different genres. I love playing dramatic roles, horror films, comedies, all different kinds, doing stage plays or whatever have you. And, I could do something from Tennessee Williams to William Shakespeare to, a dead rotting corpse film, as long as it has a compelling story, there's interesting characters, and it it takes the audience on a journey with them. That's the things that I look for. When I look for a character, I look for, or if I'm building a character that I've been entrusted to play, I look for, okay, how can I bring this character to life in a realistic way so that people can really relate with this character and tell a story and bring that character on an arc throughout the film. And so those are the things that I kind of look for. And in our film Death Club, the one that just came out, we actually shot that in Las Vegas. And one of the things that drew me to that one was when I read the script. Horror has these archetype characters, the jock or the pretty girl or the bookworm or all these different kind of things that kind of come up over and over and over again throughout the history of horror films. And one of the things that I loved about this script was it kind of took those characters, those archetype characters, and kind of flipped them on themselves by the end of the story. Everybody kind of has like an arc that they go on. And when I came on board the film, I was like, okay, how can I see what you're wanting to do here. The first conversation that I had with the director, Ronnie Nanos, was we talked about that. We talked about what we wanted to do with not only characters but the story. And right off the bat, me and Ronnie just clicked. When I came to the audition, we clicked on the ways that the characters were and the way that the films were and the story that he wanted to tell. I was like, yes, absolutely. This is how I envisioned it, and they just clicked. And I loved working with all those talented people on the film, and that's what you want. I mean, you want to look at, is the characters interesting? Is the story interesting? Are the people that I'm going to be working with, are they do they get it to the same level that you get it, and vice versa?
Right.
And everything just kind of clicked. And so we had a wonderful time shooting that film out in Las Vegas, and all the different characters go on their own little unique arc. It kind of flips that archetype character around on itself, which is a really fun, enjoyable, kind of fresh thing for the audience to see. And we shot it out at the famous Embassy nightclub out there in Vegas, and it was a wonderful shoot. And we had a music video that came out for to help promote. Trailer came out, it looked amazing, and then finally now the film has finally opened on Prime and a couple other streaming platforms as well.
I was just gonna ask where y'all shot it at because it's a really awesome location. Like everything there looks really cool. I could only
Oh
imagine.
yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful nightclub, and actually it was working while we were shooting it. We would actually have to shoot it in the daytime on the nights where the nightclub would be open, um, or vice versa. And on the one day I think that they weren't going to open the nightclub, we shot all day and night. But it's a beautiful location, beautiful club, and it just fit feel of the movie so well. When we're all telling me stories of when they first found the place, Ronnie and a couple of the other producers and the location scout and everything, they were looking at a couple different places that they knew kind of the look of that one was exactly what they wanted, and it kind of fit the story and the feel that we wanted to go for. So it worked. Beautiful location, and the whole team that we had was completely talented people, from ADs, PAs, the videographer team, the actors, all my co-stars. The director was wonderful. Our producers themselves, they set up a wonderful film there, and everybody did a great job.
And it definitely gets you too. I know when I watched it, I had my Bluetooth earphones in, and I was watching it, and I'm the only one up, and it was the part. I'm not going to ruin it for anyone, but it's a great movie. You should see it. But there was the one part where you guys are first get in the club, and I think your character's about to take a drink, and when he does, there's this sudden flash of like some scary stuff that happens, and I just about flipped out of the chair. It got me. It got me. I was,
Well, I mean, thank you very much for saying that. I mean, that's what you want to do, definitely on a horror film. If you have a director, like Ronnie, and a writer, like Jason, and just everybody on that film knew what we wanted the film to be, and they were so meticulous in all of these planning of these shots, and Ronnie was amazing with his guidance of how he wanted each shot to go, what he wanted the characters to do. And that shot in particular is actually one of my favorites in the film. The graphics that they used afterward and just everything that they had on there from the audio and the video, the special effects that they did were just fantastic. And we had to, obviously, some of the things you have to kind of envision in your mind when you're shooting it, and that worked perfectly. And it's one of my favorite shots in the film. So I'm glad that affected you so well.
Oh yeah, and I mean, and the fact that it's like you said, it kind of turns everything over on its head without spoiling anything, um, and it's really cool. Of course, at the end, the twist ending, but there was a lot of those shots like that are so well timed that you could just tell like this is very well edited, very very thoughtfully made. I really enjoyed it. And I was wondering too, how did you come about or getting the role? Is this something that you sort of put out for, or see it posted somewhere, or is it something that you would get involved with by, I guess, like a friend of a friend or something like that?
Basically, for me, what happened was actually it was pure accidental. I actually went down. I brought my fiance. My fiance is a makeup artist in the industry, and we went down to Vegas just for the weekend. We had a weekend off, and we were like, "Hey, let's go hit up Vegas. Let's go, just take a moment to relax and have fun." And then when I was out in Vegas, I got a call from an actress friend of mine. Her name is Lainey Rhodes, who I've known for a long time. Her and her family, her mom, they're fantastic people. And we were just talking, and I was like, "Hey, just catching up. How you doing? What are you doing?" "Oh, well, we're down in Vegas, And she's like, "Oh, are you there for the audition?" And I was like, "What audition?" And so she told me about the Patels, and she told me about the director Ronnie and their previous works, and because they had worked with a few of the people that were going to be on the film, so they had invited her to go down to audition. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it; they were off doing something else, and but they had told me, "Yeah, you definitely should go down to audition for this." So even though we didn't go out there to work, it's one of those things in the industry when you have something like that happen. I immediately told my fiance, and we were like, "Okay, well, things just got changed, and we're gonna go, and you're gonna get ready. You're gonna read the script." I read or not the script. I read the audition material that they, sent me when I contacted them. Read it all night long, prepared for my audition. Then the very next day, got up in the morning, went auditioned. Like I said, as soon as I met everybody, we all kind of clicked. The Patels were wonderful people. Ronnie, I first time I'd ever met him, and I worked with a couple of the other actors that we all read together and separately, and everything just kind of clicked and fell into place. And obviously, when you go to an audition like that, you don't know how it's going, or yeah, but I had a good feeling about that one. Like I said, everything was clicking really well. I got along with Ronnie. He's a great guy, and he told me some of his concepts, and I was like, "This is genius. I definitely want to be a part of this." Did my best at the audition, went home. We enjoyed our rest of our time in Vegas, came back to LA, and in about 2 weeks, they called me, and Ronnie called me, and he said, "Hey, I want to offer you the role of Chad," which was the male lead in the film. And we talked about it. We talked about what we wanted to do, and at the end of the phone call, I said absolutely, and I was on board ever since.
That's cool, man. Do you do a lot of live auditions, or do you do like taped auditions? I know with COVID, it probably everything was taped, but do you find that a lot of people prefer taped auditions or more like live auditions?
I mean, I've been acting since I was a kid, so I remember when there wasn't really a huge market for the taped auditions. More things were in person, live. I mean,
Right.
few things, were recorded and stuff like that, but didn't mean that it never happened, but more things were in live and in person. Nowadays, with technology changing the way that it is in our new digital era, that's kind of becoming the main thing that we do now is doing taped auditions. You go to backstage, and they even have articles for how to make your self tape, catch the casting director's eye, and all these different things that they have now. Me, I still prefer in person auditions, because then you have a chance to just kind of meet everybody, see everybody, and for them to meet and see you, and you can strike up conversations and just let them kind of see who you are, and you want to see who they are. Taped auditions, you can't do that, but the convenience of taped auditions is fantastic. I mean, I could
Right.
go and do 7 auditions without leaving my house. It does obviously put more, on the us as the actors to have to make sure we have a good setup and camera and some editing experience and all the other kind of things to be able to put all that together and send them over to where we have to send them. My agency, when they have something for me, they'll give me a call and I'll immediately send it back to them so they can send it forward. So kind of it's always different. That's one of the things that's wonderful about the industry. But me personally, I like in-person live auditions. Obviously, like you said, during COVID, those didn't exist. Nothing did.
Right.
And then kind of right when that was coming back, we we had the actor strike. So then that was
Oh
things
yeah.
were kind of down that way. But and now this actor strike is over, so now we can get back to work, and I'm looking forward to getting back to work in 2024. I already got a bunch of things going on for this year, and hoping to add more to it and work with some amazing people this year and get some more amazing projects out there.
That's awesome, man. I wanted to ask you one thing about the movie that was kind of got me towards the end. I know your character was kind of like the jokester guy of the group, Chad. At the very end, we hear sort of a laughter going on, like a big belly laugh that happens, kind of like a post-credit-ish scene. I was kind of wondering, was that you? Was that you that did the laughing there?
You mean at the like after the party scene and everything like that?
Yeah,
Completely after that?
yeah.
No, that wasn't me. That was added. I'm pretty sure that might be our editor or yeah, that wasn't my character because my character Chad. Again, one of the things that I really liked about coming on board the film was that his arc. That was one of the things I talked to Ronnie a great deal about, and I had all these ideas, and he was so great at like listening and letting other people give ideas and bring ideas to the table, which is something I love in a director. So I had all these ideas of the love story between him and Carmen, and just his relationship to all these different people, because that's really the basis of the story, which is something that I really loved was that it's their friendship and it's their even though life happens and bad things have happened and their past kind of literally is coming back to bite them in the ass in the film. They still have their friendships with each other that kind of see them through, which is something I really loved.
Right.
And I remember when we were shooting, we all made a joke about doing a poster kind of as an homage to the Breakfast Club. Because we all kind of had those kind of again archetypal characters,
Right.
and my character was kind of the sport bully, kind of character,
Yeah, that is true.
and kind of showing what that person was after, high school, and life had not been kind to him, and he wasn't kind either. And I remember, we had all joked about that while we were on set, and then when we were doing the actual promotional material shoot, we did one. We also got in the exact same positions as the Breakfast Club
Awesome.
did from the poster, and that actually became all everybody's actual favorite poster for the film, which is why it's now the official poster. Is all of us. I mean, there's a lot of other graphics on the poster, but all of us are there in that pose, and it was one of those things that just kind of happened
That's awesome, man.
as a joke, and then became reality. And with a lot of things happened like that, where things happen on set that became something else, and I'm pretty sure that that's where that laugh at the very end kind of happened there too, because we didn't know when we were filming there was even going to be a music video, and then all of a sudden we got contacted, hey, the music video is going to come out tomorrow, and I was like, oh, there's a music video for this. And actually the editor of the film is actually the guy who performed and edited the music video as well, and he crushed it. That music video is called Back to the Basics, and it's a beautiful song, beautifully performed, and it goes so well with just the narrative of the film and all the shots that they used in it. I mean, I was so hyped when we saw that music video for the first time, along with the trailer for the first time, and where they actually showed that as like an intro to the film when we had our big premiere, and everybody, loved it. So he did a great job.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Absolutely. It's on YouTube. It's all, that's called Back to Basics, or you can just look up uh, Dustin Ardine, a music video or Death Club music video. But yeah, back to the basics, and it was fantastic.
The characters in the movie enjoy some illegal drugs there. I was kind of wondering what was that you guys were actually smoking there?
Well, it wasn't what you thought. It's
Yeah,
all
no.
that Hollywood magic. It's
What
one of
was
those
the
things that they
magic?
brought over, and they're like, don't worry, it's not real, and anything like that. Because me as a method actor, to be perfectly honest with you, I always prefer going very into my characters, living the characters on and off screen. I drop weight for the role, I'll gain weight for the role, whatever the role calls for.
Right.
So I was looking at it, but again, there's obviously things that you know, you definitely don't want to partake in. And especially when you're trying to be professional and do a job.
All
And
right,
so that's one of
definitely.
those things where I'm like, okay, I'm glad that they used something else.
Right.
And so that we can still stay focused and do our job to the best of our abilities. And everybody on that set, all the characters, all the actors, they were wonderful. They were wonderful to work with. We actually became a really, tight group of friends, and love every single one of those people. And they all are amazingly talented at what they do, and hope to work with them again in the future. And hope that everybody definitely gives Death Club a try, and they enjoy it, because like I said, that's kind of the underlying heart of the film is that group of friends.
Well, I saw. Speaking of movie stuff and on IMDb, I saw that, and you mentioned this before, that you have written some stuff. I was kind of wondering, what is your writing method look like? Like, what are some of your writing process when you go to write something? What do you usually do?
Um, well, I mean, I absolutely love to write. I love coming up with the original creative stories. I love coming up with characters. Like I said, it's kind of that stems from that love of creating characters, and I think that kind of grew into this love of creating whole worlds and whole stories and everything like that. And I've written a couple things. I'm actually in the middle of writing two screenplays right now, and one novel right now as well. And actually, on my last script that I wrote, we are pitching around right now, trying to get the green light to hopefully shoot this year or next year. And that was based on the Betty Knox story. It's a ghost story out in Pennsylvania, and I had heard about it from the director, who came to me and my fiance. He's a wonderful guy, and he actually told us this story from his hometown. And I was like, absolutely, I could make something out of that. So I sat down, and what I like to do is I start more with, again, the world and creating the characters and saying, okay, I know this is this, and the first thing that I do, and the first thing I do both in writing and in acting, is research. I mean, research is something that cannot be understated, the importance of it. So when I'm creating a character, if my character has any physical elements, or I want to give him a accent or all these different kind of things, I do nothing but study on that. And the more that I study, the more that I know that it'll show on screen. Um, and the same rules apply to when you're writing. So I learned about that story, and I did massive amounts of research on where the story came from, all the different ideas about it, where it exactly happened. And actually, I took a trip to go see with the director and my fiance where it actually took place, so that we could see it in our eyes, and know when I was sitting there writing, okay, this is here, that's there, so I can get all the particulars down and make the most realistic, but at the same time most creative story out of that original tale that I possibly could. And and so we're shopping that one around right now. And another film that I did is a suspense film called
No problem, man.
called The Proving Ground. And that one's a suspense thriller that has been getting a lot of traction. And that one actually is one of those films that my idea was originally I wanted something to happen in one kind of a room. I wanted a one room setting that kind of just happened between this group of people. And ever since I've been showing people, the reviews have been nothing but positive. So we're hoping to get that one off the ground here pretty soon. And then I'm also writing a TV script, a TV spec for a TV show that I'd like to get shopped around right now. And that one is kind of paranormal, And then I also have the last one I'm working on is a drama called Religion that is very faith based, but also talks about different religions, you know, being together, not in opposition of each other, and being very fluid and can maintain their views along with everybody's views. And it's a beautiful, dramatic film that we're actually talking to a director in Ghana, actually, to hopefully shoot out there. So hopefully one of these things, happen. And then I was actually just talking earlier today with a wonderful colleague of mine that we actually just shot a film called A Walking Miracle. We shot it with all the Baldwin brothers. Daniel Baldwin was actually the director. Slavica is the writer. She's amazing, amazingly talented, 10 times more talented than I am. And, at writing, she's just wonderful. But we actually shot that last, I think, October, and had all the Baldwins in it. Alec wasn't in it, but had all the brothers, Billy and Stephen. Daniel had Mickey Rourke, Dina Meyer, Dean Cain, Denise Richards, and I play a character called Dr. Grant, and that's a beautiful dramatic film based on a real life instance of a young man who was in a horrible accident, is pretty much pronounced dead, and then comes back, to life. And that's a wonderful film. We can't wait for that one to come out. It was a wonderful experience working with all those amazing, talented people. And we shot that in Atlanta.
Nice. So are you planning on maybe possibly directing some of that stuff that you're writing?
I mean, for me, I prefer to, stick to the acting, writing I absolutely love, and acting, is my first and biggest, love there. But directing is something I've done before. I have directed short films before, and I have directed stage shows before. So I would not be opposed to it if someone wanted me to take the reins, or if it was a story of mine that I was like, no, I have to be the one to direct this. If I felt that strongly about it, then yeah. But if not, then absolutely, I would find, or hopefully we could bring on, a wonderful director who has the same vision, the shared, everything clicks, and then I can focus on, the acting.
All right. Well, it sounds like you're pretty busy.
I mean, you got to be, especially in this industry, you got to keep yourself busy. I mean, with that, my fiance and my, or getting my PhD right now. Like I said, I'm currently I have 2 more semesters for my PhD, and then I got to do my qualifying exams and my dissertation work. So I have still probably about another year and a half until I hopefully get my PhD. But I only have this current semester that I'm in, and the summer semester, and then I'm done with all my classwork. I actually went last June. Last June, I went out to London to study at Oxford, and it was wonderful. They're Oxford and studying out there and just seeing all that. I had a wonderful C.S. Lewis class out there, and just seeing everything and studying it at such a wonderful university like that. I mean, it's world renowned. Everybody knows that school, and I was honored to be able to go out there and study and studying film and everything that I love to do is wonderful. But it's also like I said, you keep busy
Right.
all the time. I'm doing things from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed.
I can imagine, man. That's some crazy
But
stuff. But
hopefully,
congratulations
it'll
again,
all be
man.
worth it. I
Um,
appreciate that.
I have a question that may have more than one answer to, but I have to ask it of every guest. What is your favorite horror movie?
That for me is a very loaded question because I love the horror genre. Like I said,
Me too.
I've been such a student of films my whole life. So I even go back to the black and white era and films from different countries. German and Japanese films are amazing. Takashi Miike is one of my favorite directors, wonderful horror director from Japan, and his movie Audition was phenomenal. I love that film.
Oh
It's
yeah.
such a great build-up suspense film that just turns twisted at the very end, which is just wonderful. Um, for me, though, I think the rather than answering my favorite film, because it would probably be one and the same, but I mean, there's just too many wonderful films out there to choose from. Because I grew up with, I mean, in the heyday, of the 80s and 90s, all the horror. I mean, you got your Jason, Freddy, Chucky, Michael, Pinhead,
Oh
all of
yeah.
them. They're so wonderful. But for me, I know that a film that's close to my heart because I kind of grew up, um, and I would dress for Halloween pretty much every year as Ghostface. So I love the original Scream film.
Nice.
Anything Wes Craven is just amazing. Again, I mean, he brought us Nightmare on Elm Street,
Oh
and
yeah.
so the original Scream is one of my favorites, definitely.
It's one of the good ones. And
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean
I mean, but
the other
again,
ones are
it goes
good,
so
but
much
that one
farther back.
is oh yeah. The original is man.
Yeah, the original one, Matthew Lillard, and actually, I met Matthew and Skeet at there was a convention here in town. They're wonderful guys,
Oh, awesome.
and yeah, really, really, I mean, he's phenomenal with his fans, and he really took the time to get to know everybody. And Skeet was amazing too, and Nev was actually there as well. They had like a whole screen reunion kind of thing, so it was wonderful to meet everybody there. And but that film definitely is changed the face of horror as we knew it at that time. And but there's been so many ones before. If you go back to the olden Frankenstein and Dracula, and even prior to that, all the so many. That's why I said it's so hard to pick a favorite. But
It is kind of a
yeah,
loaded question.
definitely. But I mean, so those are some of my favorites. Again, drama and horror, action. Those are like my three favorite genres. Comedy, again, I love comedy. I mean, again, I'm a guy who I can sit and watch a dramatic Academy Award winning film and then put on, the Hellraiser and enjoy them just as much.
Right.
Yeah.
So, man, where can we find out about you online? Where's the place that you keep updated the most that the listeners can find your projects?
I have my own website. It's DustinArdine.com, and I'm on all social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook. I have a TikTok. I'm on. Well, I guess it's called X now. Just changed over the name.
Right.
But yeah, I'm on all of them under Dustin Ardine, Dustin Ardine actor. Any of those, you can find me on IMDb and go check out some of my work there. And yeah, I would absolutely appreciate the follow and for people to follow me along this journey. And look forward to hearing from everybody. Hopefully, about how they liked Death Club, and they can go out and see some of my other work as well.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you being on the show tonight and letting us know a little bit more about you and a little behind the scenes stuff of Death Club. And
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me.
no problem, man. And that's it for this week for the Dead and Rotting Podcast. I'm your host, Tim Tanner, as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe on Spotify. We're trying to get our numbers up there. You can also find us on Instagram at Dead and Rotting Podcast. You can find us on Facebook. You can even find us on YouTube under the Dead and Rotting Podcast. And if you want to send us a message on any of our socials, just send us a DM. We'll try to get back with you as soon as we can. Or you can shoot us an email at deadandrottingpodcast@gmail.com. If you have or you know someone who has a movie, a low-budget horror film, or if you're doing any type of art or music or anything like that that you would like to get showcased on here, let us know. And if you'd like to do an interview, let us know that as well. Thank you for spending time with us this week, and check the show notes to check out Dustin and what he's up to and how to get hold of his socials and to keep up with him and all of his projects. That's it for this week. Tim Tanner, out.